Hi there, I am Fotaku, the photography otaku.
And I am Michi, just Michi.
And this is Peak Filler Podcast, where we talk about the movie Wish. So, what did you think about the movie Wish, Michi?
It was nothing.
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 How would you describe nothing if it was a sandwich?
No bread, no mayonnaise, no ketchup, no nothing.
Literally just an air sandwich. So that's
an air sandwich, nothing.
Yeah. No, I kind of feel the same way because I feel like I went in there and there was never anything that I latched onto with the movie, which is kind of a bummer for like 100 years.
Yeah, 100 years.
100 years celebration. There were a lot of references to a lot of stuff. And those references were actually pretty cool. Like, they weren't bad. I laughed at a few of the references. But, like, ultimately, it just feels like, yeah, it's a very meh movie, which is kind of sad. It was weird because I tried looking a little bit into it earlier, and then I was like, no, I'm not going to look into it. But already I was seeing stuff like the quirky girl problem. What problems did you see online?
Oh, I definitely saw the animation problem.
Okay, yeah.
And the villain song problem. And I saw quite a few problems online before I knew.
So you were like already ahead going, it's like, no, I want to check out some stuff. And over here, I'm kind of like, oh, I'm curious. But then, wait, no. I want to be spoiled. So that way I'll just be disappointed. Straight up. Like, no, like, oh, I anticipated the disappointment. Speaking of that art style, it reminded me a lot of Dragon Prince. Not in the sense of like early Dragon Prince. It's not jank. It's just that Dragon Prince has a very like the background, you can tell that it's just kind of drawn, and then when you have your characters there, you can tell that they're just like the 3D images moving in the space. It's not bad, but it's very like, it doesn't feel like it was that experimental or interesting. It didn't exactly blow my mind.
For a Disney movie, it wasn't that good. Expectations for Disney movie were pretty high.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of like, I know that sometimes they have some misses in some scenes, but like, I go back to Frozen 2, and a lot of people were like, oh, Frozen 2 is not as good as the first one. And to be fair, it's like, maybe like how many, like 4 or 5 years since like the first one came out.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you have to like, you know, it can't equate to the other. The runtime feels a little weird, and they felt like correcting like people who didn't have songs, like what's it called, Kristoff and stuff like that. But you know, I definitely remember all of that stuff being so off the wall. Like, there was stuff where I could look back to it and feel like, yeah, this feels like a Disney movie. I see it. It's not as good as the first Frozen, but it feels Disney, and this just feels like, I don't know, discount Disney.
Yeah, like somebody made it felt very fan-made.
Okay, I can agree with that. Like, if this was a fan thing, I would have said that's very, very impressive. But that it came from Disney feels very, very underwhelming.
Yeah.
And I'm just like there trying to like say, okay, maybe there will be some stuff here that I'll enjoy. I will say that the bad guy, I think, really hams it up, but I wanted more out of him. I felt like we didn't get his whole story.
Yeah, I felt like he was just evil to be evil. Like he was bored or something.
Right? But then they keep on doing things where it's like, oh no, remember my past where all that stuff happened? Remember the intro? And then later it's just, oh, all these people, they are so ungrateful for me doing magic, and then literally goes evil.
Like, we don't even get the whole backstory of the villain, so...
What was his motivation? Why did he want other people to do magic? It sounded like there would be this horrible thing. And now I'm like, oh no, I totally effed up the first time. Now that's what I'm thinking. I effed up the first time, things got bad, and they would never get that bad again. Okay, no, I'm power hungry, and that's it. At least that's my headcanon, because I have no clue what happened. Ugh. And it was going to be great, too, because when we were in the theater, no one was in the theater at first. Remember?
Yeah,
so we were going to get to complain about what we wanted.
For like the first 30 minutes, it was just us.
And then a family came behind us.
Oh my god.
Okay, no, but they didn't make the experience bad. I think they just really highlighted what was wrong with the movie, because there were parts where, like, when I say I got a chuckle off of a reference or something, it was just because, oh, I see that. But in terms of the movie being funny, it didn't feel funny at all.
No.
And then there was this one kid that was laughing behind us, and we didn't want to be Debbie Downers, but like the way that we heard this kid laughing, we could genuinely tell that this was more of like I don't know, like Baby's first Disney movie, if like that was something that I could equate it to, because it just generally didn't feel like the parts where they were laughing. It almost felt like, oh man, I'm not vibing the same way the kid is vibing.
It was just like very much childlike.
Yeah. But like, you know, all the other movies have something we can latch onto. Like they're clearly like they're family movies, so it's like, yeah, they're like kids first, but you can see stuff in the other movies that's like meant for like the adults not to get like too bored, or at least have some form of attachment in there. And this movie doesn't seem to have that. And then Asha is
just Asha. She doesn't really have anything special to her. I'm sorry, it has to be said. She's just a normal person with no special quirks or traits to her, and I think like at least 3 of the other side characters would have made a much better movie.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's really underwhelming, because I know that the thing I saw at first was the whole Disney might have like a quirky girl problem or a dorkable girl problem, but it's like, no, I feel like even with how Rapunzel or Anna and like it's kind of funny because I skip over Moana because I think Moana's got like a lot more personality, but then like when going into like Maribel, like I feel that they all fit the adorable archetype for one reason or another, but I feel like they also like flesh out more of the characters. We understand what they want, but I don't know what Asha wants. She wants to like, you know, make people's dreams come true, and she has a backstory with her dad, but it never gets in there. It feels vague.
The story was missing a lot. It was missing a lot of background stories and stuff like that to make it feel a lot more complete.
Yeah.
If I'm honest.
It didn't do it, but you know what? It's not what I would say is worth a 100-year celebration of Disney, and I don't want to be here being like not completely understanding, but I've just watched so much damn Disney, and like, no, Disney, I'm still paying for Disney Plus. I'm gonna complain a little bit. I almost felt like it should just been on there.
Yeah.
Oh man. What would you rate the movie?
Definitely a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10?
3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. 3 out of 10.
You?
I don't know, it wasn't too far off. I'd say somewhere around those lines too. I was gonna be kind of like between a 1 or a 2 out of 5. So yeah, no, I'm gonna say 3 out of 10 also. It's not enjoyable. It's not especially what I've grown accustomed to. And then I like how in the credits they also remind you of all the other movies that came before except Black Cauldron. But and they also skipped the Rescuers for like a second, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe they had the first Rescuers and the reel, but they didn't pay attention to Rescuers Down Under. So yeah, no, but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the next thing that comes out will be like a lot better, but it does feel a little underwhelming. So really hoping that this becomes like critical feedback maybe or something from 2 random weebs.
2 random weebs who know nothing about anything.
But anyway, we hope to catch you in the next one, and remember, reject canon, embrace filler. All right, later.